The third section on bishop g4 line should deal with something that is very close to the main idea that is connected with this system. And I'm talking about bishop g4, f3, knight a5. And now we have tested bishop f7, bishop d5. Actually, the main move for white clearly should be bishop d3. Because after bishop d3, black has to retreat with a bishop. And well, if he wants to play at least a little bit actively, he has to take on d4 and play bishop e6. Bishop e6 is a clever move. I mean, with bishop e6, black is fighting for the control of c4 square, the square that I proclaimed to be quite critical for the fate of the whole variation. And the problem for white is that his ability to control c4 square is quite limited. He can do it by queen, by rook, or he can even advance the pawn to d5. The problem with queen a4 is that it's not a real solution, because black will play a6. And now after rook c1 comes b5, and the c4 square is accessible for black anyway. So queen a4 has lost some luster. If white wants to control c4 square, he has to play simply rook c1. A very logical move. The rook goes to the only open file on the board. On the other hand, there is a cost. There is a hidden cost involved, and the cost is a pawn on a2. I mean, there is no. It's not possible to have everything to control c4 and to defend a2 pawn at the same time. That's of course the idea, the key defensive idea for black. And after bishop a2, there were quite a few games played with queen a4. Well, the black pieces are not ideal. The knight on a5 is never a great piece, and additionally, here we see that there is a bishop on a2 that needs a protection. Former main line bishop e6, d5, bishop d7, hitting the queen, queen b4, was tested in quite a few games, and it seems that after e6 black is getting enough counterplay and shouldn't be too worried, but this line is requiring quite a creative play and courage from black. Probably it's more dangerous than the line that is less well known but more critical, bishop b3. Bishop b3 is a bit ambitious because the bishop is remaining on well, in the heart of the white's position, but white queen has to go to b4, and after b6 it seems that the combination of knight on a5 and bishop on b3 is not so easily assailable. I mean, well, if white is hitting the bishop on b3, the bishop will run away to e6, and after d5 queen d6 is the plan. So if white plays d5, black will immediately counter with queen d6, which is the main idea. So white may try to get some advantage by playing bishop g5, hitting e7. After bishop g5, black will simply play f6, bishop h4, and queen d6 anyway. Queen d6 is a key idea connected with leaving the bishop on b3, and white can try to prove that he has enough compensation for the pawn, and well, that should be the case here. Say after e takes d6, white simply plays d5, leaving the bishop on b3 a little bit exposed. The idea is now knight d4, knight c6, knight e6, and black played f5 in our game to prevent this. It seems that rook c8 is even more solid, because, well, here white will not be able to prove more than a compensation for his missing pawn, and this line is quite safe for black. So all in all, I should say that rook c1 is an honest attempt to fight for advantage for white, but it's probably not sufficient, and it's receding in recent years. It's being seen very rarely in the chess praxis because white, with an advantage of half a move at the beginning, is trying for a little bit more than just the equal position.